Hello and welcome to Love with Sun. My name is Susanna Sun, and my channel is a place where we talk about all things feminine embodiment and magic and the mysteries from our ancients that have been really just hiding and waiting for the time for us to pick them back up and to share them with each other. We are magical creatures, we're spiritual beings in these human bodies, and there's so much potential available for us. So today we are tapping into the collective energy around solstice, which is coming up in a couple of days. And this is the peak where there is the most sun out of the entire year in the northern hemisphere. And so the sun, as our spiritual guide, it allows us to embody more light. It also allows us to have more awareness in places which may have currently or previously been in spaces of darkness or unconscious. So when we become more conscious, we become more aware, there's more light in our lives, then we are able to see more clearly, to have more impact, to feel more fulfilled. So all of those things are available for us in this solstice energy. And what it really requires from us, and this is the craft or the practice or the prayer, is to harness that energy and to use it, to move it through us in order to output creative force. So that creative force is us tapping into our divine energy. And so the light comes into us like nourishment. It moves through us in order for us to process it and integrate it. And then it comes out in an overflow again in our creative process. So there's lots of things available for us in this energy. And the question today, the inquiry, is what do we need at this time in order to support us to be the most effective in this? 10 of Cups. Amazing. This is the wish fulfillment. This is the rainbow with the happy family card, right? This means to us that we are currently giving ourselves permission to believe that our dreams are possible for us, that we don't have to compromise anything in order to achieve that. We begin to understand, because the question was, what do we need in order to utilize this energy? And we get the 10 of Cups. So it means that we need to believe it. We need to live it, feel it, and that in that trust that our dreams are on their way to us, we are able to receive them. It's a practice of also understanding that time is not a linear construct. When we move beyond the physical realms into deeper awareness, we begin to understand that time is a construct of our minds in order to try to create some structure. But actually, time doesn't truly exist on those deeper layers. And so yeah, 4D and above is how we say it in New Age terms. I'm not New Age, by the way. Religion is New Age. That's the new information. The people who get called a New Age, we are actually working with ancient practices. I work with shamanism. I work with indigenous practices, Tibetan practices, Buddhist practices, Taoist practices, right? These are not new. Anyways, so as we bring these things in, we're really understanding that there is an innate worthiness within us to be able to achieve this. And time is no longer a block in this. We don't have to experience it in in one time in the future. We experience it in all time, because once we choose something, it ripples across time, and it's like a butterfly effect, but it affects us all the way back through our past and into our generational past as well. So this is where the indigenous teaching is that what I work on right now, I heal 7 generations back and forward. Does that make sense? So what I'm working on right now, if I truly believe that my 10 of Cups, my wish, if I truly believe that this is possible, then I instantly claim it. It instantly becomes true because I believe that it's true. It's the power of the creative mind. This is what we call our divine capacity. Our ability to create reality comes from this ability to believe. Yes? So this is faith, right? To believe that our wish is possible. And not only is it possible, as soon as we choose it, it is. It is. It's already true. And so we begin to experience it immediately. Now, the thing about this is that this goes so much beyond material possessions. So if your wish is a fancy car, this won't necessarily be applicable to you because the fancy car is not going to immediately exist. There can be a delay on material objects arriving, but also we're talking about bigger concepts than the material plane. So beyond the physical wish, what does your heart wish? What does your soul wish? What does your contract say when you agreed to come to this planet? What did you agree to? Because that is your wish fulfillment. You just forgot. So those soul level wishes, they really go beyond the material plane, which is why they also go beyond time. Okay, so this next question is, we have 2 cards here. So let's just tune in for a second and check in for yourself as well. What is your question? What you would like to receive answers for? And what I'm hearing is that we want to know a practical solution in what to do in our day-to-day lives. We have a messenger of water and we have the 8 of water. So this is very practical. The messenger of water, such a beautiful card, first of all. Can you see the little seahorse that she's having a conversation with? So cute. In reverse. So the messenger is really the communicator, right? It is the page in the classical tarot of cups. So it means that there's a message of love on its way. But in reverse, we're talking about a way that you are holding back. So this is really interesting. This is really a conversation about boundaries. This is places where you had offered love where it was rejected. You had offered service or presence when it wasn't appreciated. It doesn't work. It does not work. So you have to wait for places where you are truly seen, appreciated, and safe before you offer any type of message of love. Yes? So in order to achieve this, we have to stop giving away our power to outside sources who do not reciprocate or appreciate. So this would be a block. Yeah? Now, the 8 of Cups is, wow, this is really powerful. It's similar in some ways. So the 8 of Cups traditionally means that we're walking away from something that seems to be a lot. There's 7 cups in front of this person and they say, I just have to go look for the 8th. I have to go look for more. I think there's 8 in front of the person and they walk away, actually. So that's the story. That's the story right there. Where are you choosing something that is close but not quite? Because that's where you're called to walk away. There's more. If it's not this, it's not it. If it's not joyful Buddha with flowers and love pouring over him with happy, happy belly, if it's not all of that, it's time to walk away. So this leads to a really important conversation about how we determine whether something is a yes or no for us. I teach embodiment, so I go into the physical body to begin to understand. Our body has a lot of answers for us. Our body is constantly communicating to us, but we are used to, as a society, to numbing out these conversations with our own body with painkillers or media. You know, we're constantly distracting ourselves. We don't have alone time to actually go inward and to listen. So we block out the communication with our bodies usually. If we do tune into our bodies, then it gives us permission to be able to understand what our body is telling us. And our bodies are very, very wise. And so if something is close but not quite, there might be a part of you that says, you know, it feels like a yes in so many ways. It's a yes on paper, right? It looks like a yes. It was a yes in the past. All of these things might be relevant. But here's the truth. If you tune into your body and you ask yourself, is this a full body yes? A full fuck yes. And if it is, if there is absolutely zero hesitation in you, you got yourself a 10 of cups. If, however, you ask yourself, is this a yes for me? And you tune in, you say, well, it's a yes in this way, but I'm not so sure about this. It's a yes, but something feels a little bit weird. Anything like that. It's a maybe. I'm not sure. I can't quite tell. All of those answers are no. It's very simple. Either it is a full 10 of cups or it's not. If you have a 9 of cups and you think, wow, I've never had 9 before, so I'm going to hold on to this 9. And even once it's time that it's time for you to move on to the 10 of cups, but you say, you know what? No, the 9, there's 9. I've never had 9 before. And you keep holding on to it, you won't reach the 10 because you're not letting go of the 9. You have to move on to the next phase. In order to move on, you have to let go of the old phase. If it's not a full yes, it's a no. If you have to think about it, it's a no. If it's part yes, it's a no. If it's a maybe, it's a no. And you can take this literally and you can apply this across the board. You're dating somebody. If it's not a full yes, it's a no. See, as long as we're saying yes to something that is almost, then we don't have space for the full, right? We have to walk away from the almost in order to find the next level. One more question. We got a lot of water going on right now. That was just too many cards. That wasn't it. So my last inquiry here is really about timing. Yeah, so if we put time back into the picture and we give ourselves permission to look at when is this change happening, And there's kind of like a preparatory phase. So yeah, I want a little bit more information about that. Also in regards to the gap that is between us choosing what we're creating and actually receiving it. When it comes to the restrictions of time, I'd like a little bit more information about that, please. And thank you. Oh, we have the star. Yes, 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 yes. So amazing. Oh, I love her so much. So it's number 17, which if you break that down, it gets to an 8, which is the number of the self. So the star tells us that there is a part of ourselves that is divine, and that is always true. And the 8 tells us that it all leads back to ourselves, right? It always comes back to the self. So in regards to time, yeah, that's so interesting, because the question was about time, but then the message is really that it's irrelevant, that you are already this energy. This energy is innate in you. It's what you were before you were on this planet, was a star, right? You came from source energy. You are a child of God, which means that these limitations and the delays and these types of things that might cause you frustration or uncertainty, they are really superficial. They're irrelevant to the bigger purpose, and that the easiest way for you to move through that time is to remember the root origin of who you are. And then it doesn't matter. Time is fun. Time is something you can play with, something you can manipulate. It's fluid. And so you're able to play with it without it causing you any limitations or restrictions. And it really just requires you to step into this remembering of your own divinity, your own power. All right, there we are. I have an in-person gathering on Sunday for those of you who might be in Calgary. And for everybody else, I'm not offering a virtual solstice gathering at this time. I'm only doing them in person. But I will have a 6-week immersion, which is going to be a full transformation experience. And that's going to start in July. So it's going to be a 6-week transformation. And we're going to go through all of the basics of esoteric feminine mystery. So this includes shamanism and magic and feminine embodiment. So we're going to be going into the foundations of all of those to set you up. It's microdose optional. It's a great place for you to work with microdosing in community with support if you do want to practice with plant medicine. And if you're not using plant medicine, you're going to be learning the basics of shamanism and energy manipulation and all of these alchemical processes that we are capable of as the magicians that we are. So the microdose is really optional support. And yeah, I'm so excited. And then there's a little bonus in there. I've got, when we're talking about feminine mystery, one of the essential pieces is sensuality and sexuality. And a lot of teachers don't go there because it is one of the most complicated topics to teach about. And there's a lot of misinformation and there's a lot of shame. So it does require a highly attuned specialist, as I am. And so when we go into sexuality, it's part of it. It's part of the feminine mystery. It's part of the feminine magic. So to be able to work with your sexual, sensual energy is an essential part. So I do have an introduction there that is optional for people who are wanting to include some tantric initiation into their transformation. All right, have a beautiful day. Let me know if this message resonated for you, if there were certain parts that stood out for you. If you have any questions that you would like me to bring up in my next reading, if you post a question in the comments, and I will check, I will look, and if it's relevant, then I will bring it up in the next reading, okay? There's so many ways to work with me for free. This is one of them. Post your comments. You can also get a hold of me. I'm small enough at this point that I am able to reply to each person individually. So if you message me with with a legitimate question and inquiry, I will be able to respond. There's a lot of messages that I don't respond to, but if it's an authentic question and inquiry into what I offer, then I will reply. Have a beautiful day. Sending many blessings.